So today is the appearance day of Advaita Acharya, taken to be Mahavishnu avatar, so taken to be Sadashiva. Gurma says on account of the similarity between Mahavishnu and Sadashiva, which sometimes he will say, sum total of the jivas. And we know in Brahma Samhita, this connection between Mahavishnu and Shambhu, how the conditioned souls get an opportunity for liberation. We'll take it in that sense. One of the themes of avatars, right, of their descent, because I thought recently, one of them said, well, why don't they come and just show themselves? And I thought, they do. There are innumerable avatars. Is that? Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan Nana Avatar Makarod Bhuvaneshu Kindu. Innumerable avatars. So Advaita Acharya, Rupa Goswami, Chaitanyastakam, the sloka, Swarupam Bibrano Jagatatulyam Advaita Daita, Prapana Srivaso, Paramananda Gorima, Janita, Paramananda Gorima, Harir Dinodari Gajapati, Kripot Seka, Tarala, Sat Chaitanya Kame Punar Vidashor Yashyati Padam. About how Srup Damodar is incomparable, Srupam Bibranam, Jagatatulyam in the world, and Advaita Daita, how dear Advaita Acharya is to Mahaprabhu, and how indebted we are to Advaita Acharya. And to so many we can say, we owe the appearance of Mahaprabhu. But certainly one is Advaita Acharya. Now, Guru Maharaj says once, Mahaprabhu asked Srivas Thakur, what do you think about my Advaita? In this context, he called him Nara. What do you think about my Advaita? And Srivas said, I'm thinking like Prahlad Maharaj. And Mahaprabhu became enraged. Said, Prahlad, he's just a boy. You have no idea how dear he is to me. And really, if we look in Charitamritam, we'll see Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, the first 14 slokas where the superstructure is, prayers to Panchatattva, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, Mahavishnu, Jagat Karta. But he will say early on in the Adi Leela that it was by the plaintive cries of Advaita Acharya, Krishna, Hunkar means roaring. These cries of Advaita, he was looking, serving the situation of the people in this world, the degree of fallenness. Right? Guru Maharaj mentions the golden volcano of divine love. Society had become so degraded that aristocrats were spending lavish, extreme amounts of money on the lavish arrangement for the weddings of cats. Right? And this is before lol cats, actually. So they're spending, we know how popular they are with people, they're spending lavish sums of money on the wedding of cats. Astrologers, just, in other words, just gone off track from their sanskar, from their culture, from their almost divine inheritance to come to to appear in that land. Narottam Thakur elsewhere describes as Gora, Mandala Bhumi, Jeva Chintamani Mani. Gora Mandal, the land of Goramandal, is made out of Chintamani. That's his angle of vision. He can see that and extract that. So Advaita Acharya was very sad to see the condition of everyone at that time. And he thought in the scriptures and different places where Krishna admits he can be purchased with a tulsi leaf and water, like Ganga Jal and a tulsi leaf. So, and Guru Maharaj did tell that story once, when the Queen Rukmini was deceived by perhaps Narada. They're told, some Brahmins are coming, you can, it's said it's very auspicious to donate your husband. They said, you know, if you give your husband as a donation, it's a very auspicious thing to do. Really? Yeah. You had so much benefit. So she somehow donates Krishna, and then when the ceremonies are over, they're leaving, they're taking Krishna with him. With them. And saying, what are you doing? You donated him. Yeah. In charity, we're taking the pranami. You know, oh, what have I done? What can I do to get back? Wait, they bring out a scale. It's a giant scale. They got Krishna on one side, and she's putting all of her bangles, ornaments, jewels, necklace, everything to try and like, nothing, everything, all queen, everything. We have to save, you know, Krishna. And then the hint comes. Take all of the jewelry, all the jewels and everything off the scale, put a tulsi leaf. They put one tulsi leaf on the scale and like that. To reveal the glories of Tulsi Devi. So, Advaita Acharya says, Tulasi Dalamatrena Jalasya Tulasya Dalimatrena Julasya Jalasya Chulakenaba Vikri Nihite Swamatmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsala. Because he's Bhaktavatsala, you know, the property, he has so much affection for his devotees that with a tulsi leaf and a palmful of Ganga Jal, Krishna can be brought down. The infinite can be brought down under the control of the finite. So saying that way, Advaita Acharya with a tulsi leaf and Ganga Jal is calling Krishna and Goloka, pleading with him to descend. And at that time, it coincides with some internal desires that Krishna has. Sri Radhaya Mahima Kidushovana Eva Svadyo Yenadbhuta Madhurima Sokyam Yasha Tadanubhavita Chaikimaptam. No, is it? No. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrushovana Eva. He wants to experience the love that she alone possesses, taste what she tastes in their loving exchange, and experience the ecstasy that she experiences. So Advaita's calls, and it coincides, it's in sync with the internal condition of Krishna, and he descends into this world. Haridas, the Guru Varga, so-called, in this case, the Guru Varga means mother, father, auntie, uncle, all the superiors. So Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur, they're already in place. Gods and goddesses have also descended. And when the time comes for the appearance of Mahaprabhu, in Shantipur, Advaita Acharya begins dancing. Then Haridas Thakur, and they're having kirtan. He can feel the appearance of the Lord. And later, after it's confirmed with Sita and Thakurani, they go to see the newborn baby, and she gives him the name Nimai. So Advaita Acharya is responsible for bringing Mahaprabhu down. And after sannyas, it's Advaita Acharya who's there waiting at the Ganga when Nityananda tricks Mahaprabhu, takes him on a boat back to Shantipur. Again, Sita cooks so much prasadam, they send for Mother Sachi. Advaita Acharya, he's serving Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And they haven't eaten in days. Let me see the relationship between Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. There's mountains of prasadam being supplied. And Nityananda Prabhu says, I was hoping to break my fast today, but I see that it won't be possible. Advaita Acharya, he's playing with the name of Nityananda as the Avadut and saying, have you descended to give like Brahman Grihastas trouble? That's like your role in this world, is just to appear, visit Brahmins and give them a hard time. So they have some joking, and everything is jesting between Nityananda and Advaita, or Sankarshan, Balaram and Mahavishnu. But Advaita is so happy to have Mahaprabhu at his house. When they're having kirtan, he's singing songs that are in the voice and heart expression of Srimati Radharani from Vidyapati. They're saying, there's, after a long time of separation, joyous celebration. He's singing that song, that today I'm so fortunate because Madhava has appeared in my house. So, and he is expressing such affection to Mahaprabhu. For a long time you've been cheating me. Now I've got you, you can't escape. Devotees, they're asserting their possessiveness over the Lord. That sort of thing. The infinite expressing possessiveness over the finite. When we talk about the example of the magnitude of Krishna being the sun and the devotee, like the ray, but here the ray is controlling the sun. So, Bhaktebhyo Bhakta Vatsala. Whenever the infinite, we don't think of Advaita, generally he's part of the infinite. There are three Prabhus, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, but still in this context, his love and affection is, he's asserting and controlling Mahaprabhu. He brought him down, he brings him to his house. When it's time to go, he pleads with him again to stay with him. Mahaprabhu stays extra days. He can't bear to leave. When it's time to go, Advaita's going with the group, and Mahaprabhu has to stop him. It's a heartbreaking scene. Anyway, in that Advaita Acharya, he's going every year to Jagannath Puri for the 4 months of the Chaturmasya to celebrate Rath Yatra with Mahaprabhu. He's one of the principal dancers in the different groups, right? The groups, interestingly, are called Sampradaya. 4 principal, 3 others. There's 7 groups. Advaita Acharya is one of the chief dancers. His sons are there, Gopal, Achyutananda. I'm told when someone was visiting the house of Advaita Acharya, he asked him, what is the relationship of Mahaprabhu with others? And he's implying, who is his guru? Advaita Acharya, first he's avoiding, then finally he says, Keshava Bharati is his guru, sannyas guru. We're told the boy Achyuta, he comes in, he can't tolerate hearing this, he's around 5 years old. He is chastising his father, he's chastising the Mahavishnu avatar, saying, what nonsense are you telling? You'll destroy the world with this kind of misconception. Mahaprabhu is Jagat Guru. Who can be his guru? And the response that elicits from Advaita Acharya is just love and affection. He's so happy to have a son like that. And like Raghunandan and Mukunda, Advaita says, you're my father. You're the superior here. We just heard that yesterday about Raghunandan Thakur and Mukunda Vaidya, that on some medical call, he leaves the boy Raghunandan in charge of the offering bhog to the deity, to their Gopal. And I forget how old he is, 6, 7, something like that. And he is appearing before the deity and saying, as should be said, he's inviting the deity to take the bhog. And the deity, of course, is generally considered stationary. But he is a young boy, we could say very simple-hearted and pure. He's pleading with the deity, please, take now is the time I'm offering to you. And the deity is not responding. Now the boy, his heart is going towards full expression. He's pleading with such earnestness, such sincerity, that the deity takes a seat and starts eating the bhog. Then the boy's happy, he leaves. He thinks that this is the process. Like, that this is what everybody else is doing. Like, today I'm in charge of that. Why are you, like, did I say the mantras wrong? So the deity actually descends and takes that before his eyes, and he's happy. When Mukunda returns in the evening, he's hungry. He wants to take some prasadam. He approaches Raghunandan, and Raghunandan is saying, Gopal ate everything. And he's thinking, oh, I see. You've taken everything, and Gopal ate it all. That's why there's no prasadam, because Gopal ate it all. It's actually amongst the Vaishnavas, they have a saying, when some portion of prasadam is taken away, in the Bengali they say, it's an increase. Right? Not that it becomes less, it becomes more. Right? So, Raghunandan, Mukunda is saying, show me this. But in his presence, it won't happen. So behind the curtain, by himself, it's seen, the deity again takes the prasadam, and we're told if you've seen that deity, you see in his hand, when Mukunda looks, there's some laddu. Like sometimes you're making laddu here. That deity, there's a laddu in his hand. Maybe half eaten. Or not. So then Mukunda can understand that this boy, Raghunandan, just like Advaita's son, Achyuta, he's superiorly qualified. So when Mahaprabhu asked him, Mukunda, in your house, who's the father and who's the son? Mukunda answered rightly, Raghunandan's the father and I'm the son. Meaning, he has superior devotion to you. He's in the superior position. We're saying Advaita brought Mahaprabhu down. But we think of Vishnu Priya, when Chaktva Sudushtuja Surepshita Raja Lakshmin, Dharmista Arja Vachasa Yadagara Ranyam, Mayam Rigam Dvaita Ipsita Anvadavad, Bande Mahapurushate Charanara. Someone might say, what is her contribution? Nimai Pandit, that's her contribution. We think Advaita brought him down, but what Guru Maharaj calls the imperial throne of the heart, the love in the heart of Vishnu Priya, she's the one who allowed, gifted Nimai Pandit to the world so that it could become Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 14 years old. Afterwards, it's mentioned, like she's taking Krishna Nam and putting a grain of rice in a bowl, and as she chants Krishna Nam, at her completion, however much rice is there, that's what she's taking. Her sari is neglected. When Mahaprabhu came back after 5 years to Navadvip and everyone came to see him, she is way in the periphery and the crowd. And Guru Maharaj said, she told to Sachi Mata, there's your son. She didn't say, there's my husband. He said, there's your son. And she's heartbroken. And Mahaprabhu, he's wearing padukas, these wooden shoes that have the solitary peg that comes up, which were worn by the renunciates of the time. He steps out of those shoes and walks on, and those are embraced by Vishnu Priya. She's worshipping them for the rest of her life. Still, if you go to Vishnu Priya Bari in Navadvip, which they made a train stop for recently, they will show those. And also the deity. We're told she commissioned the deity of Mahaprabhu. Guru Maharaj once told me, if you want to see really what a Mahaprabhu deity should look like, then go there. And he had someone take me there. He said, once you see this deity, then you'll understand. That deity, first time the carver presented, she dismissed. Second time, dismissed. Third time, she drew her veil. So, and cared for by her like relative brother Ishan, so that in the final days, after Mahaprabhu was no longer in this world, when Srinivasa Acharya came, they brought him to Mother Sachi and her for an Ishan. They could hear, so he could hear some of the pastimes of Nimai Pandit. Because I didn't have the opportunity to say something yesterday, I want to say something now. Also about Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who Mahaprabhu said, my life is perfect now that I'm seeing Premanidhi, the ocean of Krishna Prem. Gadadhar Pandit, who had not taken initiation, told his friend Mukunda, if a substantial Vaishnava comes to Navadvip, you introduce me. Then Pundarik Vidyanidhi is coming from, what is his place called? Chatragram. It's now Bangladesh. He will come maintain a place in Navadvip so they can come to bathe in the Ganga. And we're told he did not, it was disturbed seeing people using the Ganga for bodily necessities, washing clothes and things like that. He would go at night and very respectfully bow down on the bank of the Ganga and put a few drops on his head. So when he's coming on a palanquin carried by 4 or 6 men, something like that, and looking like a bishai, a sense enjoyer, with oiled, curled hair, perfumed, sitting on silk, basically being carried on a golden silk throne, and smoking a hookah, smiling. In some places it's saying, there are mirrors, he can see how beautiful he is. Sometimes, in Gurudev's Pranam mantra, it says, Sundaram Tanum, right? Tanum Sundaram, that line. And Gurudev would say, sometimes he'd say, and looking very nice. Because that means beautiful form, beautiful, and looking very nice. Anyway, so Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Mukunda's telling Gadadhar Pandit, there's your Vaishnava. Even from our own limited experience in Krishna consciousness, we can imagine the shock, the dismay of Gadadhar Pandit. He's saying, this is the Vaishnava? And he's there smoking the hookah, blowing puffs of smoke, and being carried on a jeweled palanquin, the whole. And Mukunda, this is Mukunda the singer, he's saying, oh, you're, form versus substance. You're deceived by the objective, formal aspect, what can be seen with the eyes. Right? So I need you to see another way. So he starts singing the Srimad Bhagavatam sloka. It's in the 3rd canto. Uddhava. Aho bhakiyam stanakalakutam jigam saya payayadap yasadvi lebegatim datri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalum sharanam brajema. Who is a more merciful Lord than Krishna? Who is more worthy to take shelter of than Krishna? That Putana approached him with murderous intentions, right, with her poisoned breast, and he liberated her and elevated her to the position of mother. If that's how he treats his enemies, then what to speak of his friends or more than friends? Kam va dayalum sharanam brajena. who would be a more merciful personality to take shelter of? That verse actually gives hope for all of us. So when Pundarik Vidyanidhi hears this, it's what Guru Maharaj described in another context as a direct hit in a soft sentiment. That kind of thing. Right into the heart, a direct hit into a supremely soft sentiment. And it striking the heart of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Prema Nidhi, the ocean of Krishna Prem. He starts saying, Kamba Dayalum Shananam Brajena. Who is a more worshipful shelter than Krishna? And his body, waves of ecstasy start inundating his divine form, and he throws the hookah, the pillows, he's pulling his hair, he falls off the palanquin, he's crying in ecstasy, Kamba Dayalum Sharanam Brajema, and he enters a 9-hour trance. At which point Gadadhar Pandit thinks, I've committed a great offense. The highest type of Vaishnava I misread on the basis of some external consideration. It said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyeha Nabujoy. I cannot see a Vaishnava from external point of view. So, it's been said, if you've offended such a Vaishnava, the way to counteract the offense is to become his disciple, to offer yourself to him as a disciple. And Gadadhar Pandit is thinking like that, and we're told that sometimes mysteriously Mahaprabhu's devotees would hear him crying, Bap, Pundarik, Bap, Pundarik, Father, calling out, Father. Remember, he's in Radha Bhav. Radharani's calling out for Father. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi is Vrishabhanu Maharaj and Krishna Lila. So Mahaprabhu approved Gadadhar Pandit to become initiated by Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Yes, this will be perfect for you. But Mahaprabhu, when Pundarik Vidyanidhi came to be with Sri Chaitanya Dev, Mahaprabhu said, today my life has become perfect because I'm seeing Krishna Prem personified, the ocean of Krishna Prem personified. And Raghunath Das Goswami, Gurudev and Govardhan, he thought more of Raghunath Das Goswami when he would be in Govardhan. Because Das Goswami, we're told, when he was in his final days, was crawling on his hands and knees in Govardhan and Radha Kunda. The song Saraswati Thakur heard from Gorkishoras Babaji Maharaj. Muke Radha Radha Bole Beshe Nayanera Jale Radhe Radhe. And with tears streaming down his eyes, saturating his clothes, crawling on his hands and knees there, he's taking the name of Srimati Radharani. One of the reasons why we preserve that. We're not casually taking her name to the point of meaninglessness. That was Das Goswami's expression. And there, Dehi, Nija Nikata Nivasha Dehi Govardhanatvam. He's praying for shelter at Govardhan. After the loss of Mahaprabhu and Srup Damodar, remember he was put under the care of Srup Damodar. He's thinking to finish his life, hurling himself from Govardhan. But when he reaches Govardhan, he finds that Mahaprabhu and Srup Damodar are again in Rup and Sanatan. So, meaning comes back to his life. Ashavare amrita sindhu mayi katanchit kalo mayati gamita kila sampratam hi tam chet kripa mayi vidasha shinaiva kimme prane brajena chabaroru bakarinapi. Das Goswami is the Prayojan Tattva Acharya, who is saying, ultimately, what is our goal, our focus? Radha Dasyam. That's what in this Vilapakus Manjali sloka, saying that is the aspiration of those in the Rupanuga line, without which our lives are not meaningful. And what's more substantial than our lives, Vrindavan is of no use to us, and Krishna himself. So extreme expressions come from the heart of Das Goswami. In the Shikshastakam, Mahaprabhu says, Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravrishaitam sunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahiname. Govinda viraha. In separation from Krishna, seeing the world sunya, that's void, vacant, zero. Right? Extreme expression. But in the Bilapa Kusumanjali of Das Goswami, another level. Sunyayate mahagoshtam girindro jagarayate vyagram tundayate kundam jivatu rahitasyame. Saying, what was formerly a source of inspiration for my service now appears to be antagonistic to me. What was it formerly? As we know, Govardhan. Now he says, in the absence of you, Govardhan appears like a python coming to swallow me. And Radha Kunda, that holy of holiest places, appears like a tiger's gaping jaws come to devour me. Not Das Goswami, Gurudev liked to quote these lines where it says, Indra Aiswarja Sama Stri Apsara Sam. That he had opulence, wealth, like Indra, the king of heaven. He's the only child of like the richest family in Bengal at that time. And Stri Apsara, his wife, was like an apsara. It means the divine, heavenly courtesans who are, like used by Indra to seduce the topmost yogis. Right? So we can imagine how beautiful they are. It's mentioned in the Gopi Gita. Their bodies smell like lotus flowers. And so he's saying, and he has a wife like that, but the father acknowledged, and this comes from Das Goswami's father, because his mother suggested to keep him from joining Mahaprabhu, that they chain him to a pillar to keep him at home. And the father said, if with all this wealth and a wife as beautiful as an apsara, if that doesn't bind him, what good will, chains do? For one who's become what? A madman for Chaitanya Chandra. Das Goswami ran to Puri, from Bengal to Puri, and I forget how many days, 5-7 days, running all day and night, resting briefly, taking a little milk here and there, sleeping in a cowshed. And placed by Mahaprabhu under the care of Srup Damodar. And the father, after the reason they couldn't retrieve him was Puri, Orissa was under a different jurisdiction. So the father's plan was just send money to take care of Das Goswami. Because he's by nature inclined to the extremes of renunciation. And he was thinking, all right, I can make a feast for Mahaprabhu and his devotees. But he's thinking, that's not good. Then we have Raghunath Das Goswami for his maintenance. He goes first by the Shingadwar, the gate to Puri. And the people come by and they give the renunciates a little something, or the shopkeepers give something. But Das Goswami said, I feel like a prostitute, thinking, oh, maybe this person will give something, certainly this person will, maybe that person. So then he, at one point, they have a place where what's become inedible for people, they give to the cows. Right? Then he's finding what the cows will not take, he's separating something from there, like some rice, cleaning that. And when news comes to this of Mahaprabhu, he's very happy. Because he's saying, what? Raghunath's not throwing those big feasts anymore. What's happening? And this is explained to him. With Swarup Damodar, they go, and Mahaprabhu says, Raghunath, saying he's eating what is rejected by cows. They won't eat it. And Mahaprabhu is saying, Raghunath, I hear you're having feast and you're not inviting me. And he's, what? He's saying, how can this be given to Mahaprabhu? Mahaprabhu and Swarup, they force it from him. Mahaprabhu is eating that, saying, there's no nectarine substance of this quality anywhere. And Swarup Damodar takes it away from Mahaprabhu to stop him. The infinite coming under the control of the finite. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he is the receiver of all the notes of Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar, Sri Gauranamatam Swarupa Viditam. No one knows Mahaprabhu as well as Swarup Damodar. And the total wealth of Swarup Damodar is transferred from his heart to Raghunath Das Goswami, so that when he's in his final days in Govardhan, comes under the care of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and it's all transferred to him and springs out as the Chaitanya Charitamritam. Mahaprabhu also gave him, he used to keep a Govardhan Shila on his heart for some years. Then he gave that Giriraj Govardhan to Raghunath Das Goswami to worship. When we were in Vrindavan, we went there. That's kept at the Gokulananda temple. Here's and Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, who all the questions that might arise in anyone's mind reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, particularly the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam and the pastimes of Krishna, Krishna Lila, all of those questions, and in great detail, are answered by Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur. Even the smallest detail, he can extract extraordinary amount of siddhanta, spiritual substance, So we're very fortunate to have his commentaries. Every day we sang the Gurvastakam of Vishwanath in praise of Sri Guru. So when after so many years of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, he's doing what Guru Maharaj calls public service. There's public service and private life. So he's done his public service, Bahiranga Sangha Kore Nama Sankirtan, Antaranga Sangha Kore Rasa Ashvadan. And now he wants to exclusively engage in the culture of Radha Bhav. He gets a mystic letter, poem from Advaita Acharya, giving him release. Because remember, as we said in the beginning, it was Advaita Acharya who brought Mahaprabhu down. Now he's saying, what you came to do has been achieved. The Nam Sankirtan, you've inundated the world in love of Krishna. So you're now free, and you're mad, you made the world mad, I'm also become mad. Like that. Mahaprabhu asked Rup Damodar, what does this mean, what he's saying? They all know what it means, but do not want to express that. But the immediate outcome is that Mahaprabhu is now free to, in a sense, finish his public life and go into his internal pastimes in the Gangbhira. So it's mentioned by Kaviraj Goswami, after that release from Advaita, his ecstatic, emotional interior doubled in intensity and started becoming greater. When Sri Damodar said, I'm not sure what it means, Mahaprabhu said, oh, I think Advaita, and we've seen this in India, when they make a deity. They make a deity for a festival, have a religious performance, and then they throw it in the tank, in the pond. So he said, Advaita is one of those people, he calls a deity, summons a deity, the deity appears, they have some kind of a religious performance, and then he's finished with the deity. But the deity in this case is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's how he told it. But anyway, then his ecstatic, emotional interior starts doubling, like, what's the word in earthquakes? Magnitude. It keeps becoming greater. Like before that, what he was celebrating in front of Jagannath Rath Yatra, now in the Gangbhir, Uddhava Darshan, the Brahma Gita, the madness of Radharani, when that's brought out upon the visit of Uddhava, delivering Krishna's letter to the Braja Gopis in separation. And just to finish, the two godbrothers of Guru Maharaj, Bharati Maharaj and who was the other one? Parbat. The Bharati Maharaj. If you see old pictures of the Gaudiya Math, you can always tell who he is. And he's tall, like a foot taller than everybody else. He was a very big Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj said his specialty was he could speak in a way that was very accessible to the people, and everyone was very happy with his preaching. And that Parbat Maharaj, he was a neighbor of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as inconceivable as that sounds. And he would hear at 3 a.m. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wake up and be on his stone bench seat outside his porch. He'd be there chanting Krishna Nam, and Guru said, like, he was calling to a beloved friend out in the distance, wailing his name. This Parvat Maharaj, he was overwhelmed by what he heard. It was so extraordinary.